My number one Star Trek Strange New Worlds wish is more Rebecca Romijn, more of Rebecca Romijn, as number one is my number one wish for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. Also known as LT, Commander Una Chin Riley, number one is the unflappable and uber-competent first officer of the USS Enterprise led by Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount. Along with Mount and Ethan Peck as Lieutenant Spock, Romijin's iconic embodiment of number one is why fans clamored for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the trio's spin-off from their appearances in Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has already developed number one's character more fully than the character ever had a chance to when Majel Barrett Roddenberry pioneered her in Star Trek's original pilot, The Cage. Strange New Worlds not only revealed number one's full name, but that she is from a race that practices genetic engineering called Illyrians. Una's heritage has been the source of her strength and primary story in Strange New Worlds thus far, as number one fought for her rights as a member of a race banned by the United Federation of Planets. But now we need more number one stories in Strange New Worlds to get to know Una even more. There hasn't been enough of number one in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, considering number one is part of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Big Three, along with Captain Pike and LT. Spock, it feels like there's been comparatively less emphasis on LT. Commander Una Chin Riley. Granted, Star Trek Strange New Worlds cast is large, varied, and extremely talented, and the series has done a spectacular job spotlighting them, from new creations like LT, Lian Noonien Singh, Christina Chong, to Star Trek legacy characters like Ensign Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, and Nurse Christine Chapel, Jess Bush. But it does seem like Una occasionally fades into the background. Number one is meant to be a formidable presence on the Starship Enterprise. Una is the best first officer in Starfleet, and the rock Captain Pike relies upon. Curiously, however, Una was replaced as first officer a couple of times in Strange New Worlds Season 1, and number one only occasionally receives entire episodes centering on her. However, Rebecca Romijn is smashing as Una, and she makes every moment number one is on screen count. Una simply needs more emphasis in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 to reveal more of her wit, her personality, and what makes her tick. Number one was the star of one of Strange New Worlds' best episodes, when number one received the spotlight in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 2, Ad Astra per Aspera. The result was one of the best Star Trek courtroom episodes ever. It can even be argued that Ad Astra per Aspera is Strange New Worlds Season 2's finest episode. No small feat considering the big swings of Season 2, like Star Trek's first ever musical and the crossover with Star Trek Lower Decks. Dramatically, Ad Astra per Aspera is flawless, as is Rebecca Romijn as Una, who refuses to compromise her right to be accepted by Starfleet for who she is, and wins. With her plight in Ad Astra per Aspera over, number one showed her lighter side as Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 continued. Whether helping a suddenly human Spock act more Vulcan, butting heads with Chief Engineer Commander Pelia, Carol Kane, consoling her closest friend Lynn in matters of the heart, or unleashing her singing voice and love of Gilbert and Sullivan, Una is bona fide scene stealer. Yet, number one is one of Strange New Worlds headliners, so Una shouldn't be stealing scenes. They should revolve around her far more. When Star Trek Strange New Worlds was announced as a return to the episodic, exploratory roots of the original series, fans of the franchise were thrilled. With a mixture of nostalgia for the original 1960s show and excitement for new stories, it promised to recapture the magic of space exploration, ethical dilemmas, and character-driven drama. Among the many familiar names attached to the show, one in particular stood out for fans, Rebecca Romijn. As the iconic number one, Romijin's presence in the series brings a quiet intensity and charisma to the screen. However, one season in, there's a common refrain from fans like me. We want more Rebecca Romijn. Romijin's number one, or Una Chin Riley as she's officially known, is a character ripe for exploration. First introduced in Star Trek Discovery and originating in The Cage, the original 1965 Star Trek pilot episode number one has long been a somewhat enigmatic figure. Played by Majel Barrett in that early episode, she was notable for her cool, logical demeanor, something quite groundbreaking for a female character in the 1960s. Although Barrett's number one didn't get much time to shine in the original series due to NBC's decision to rework the cast for the eventual Star Trek series, the legacy of that character has lingered for decades. With Romijn now playing this pioneering role in Strange New Worlds, there's an opportunity to flesh out number one's background, personality, and relationships in ways that were never possible before. Romijn's portrayal is strong, confident, and layered with a sense of quiet authority. She commands the screen whenever she's in a scene, whether she's giving orders on the bridge of the Enterprise or grappling with more personal dilemmas. And yet, despite these moments of brilliance, there's a sense that the character isn't getting the narrative focus she deserves. An underexplored backstory, one of the most intriguing aspects of Romijn's portrayal of number one, is the mystery surrounding her origins. Season 1 gave viewers a tantalizing glimpse into her backstory, revealing that she's Illyrian, part of a group of people known for their use of genetic engineering, a practice banned in the Federation. This revelation adds a significant layer of complexity to her character. Number one isn't just the cool, unflappable officer we see on the bridge. She's someone who's been living with a hidden identity, wrestling with both her own internal conflicts and the threat of being exposed. This storyline has the potential to delve deep into classic Star Trek territory, examining issues of identity, ethics, and belonging. Yet, while the Illyrian reveal was a major plot point in Season 1, it hasn't been given the depth of exploration that it deserves. How has this secret shaped her relationships with her crewmates? What personal cost has it had on her? And how does she reconcile her loyalty to the Federation with the Federation's ban on something that is so integral to her very existence? More screen time dedicated to these questions would not only give Romijn a chance to fully flex her acting muscles, but also add significant emotional weight to the character of number one. She's more than just a loyal second-in-command. She's a woman grappling with profound questions of self-acceptance and survival. A natural leader in Strange New Worlds, Captain Pike, Anson Mount, is undoubtedly the center of the show's leadership dynamic. His calm, compassionate, and yet authoritative leadership style is compelling to watch, and it's easy to see why he commands such loyalty from his crew. However, number one's own leadership skills are just as compelling, if somewhat underutilized. Rebecca Romijn's number one isn't just Pike's backup or a mere extension of his authority. She's a leader in her own right. In episodes where she takes command of the Enterprise, Romijn effortlessly conveys the weight of command with her subtle but powerful presence. Her style is pragmatic, decisive, and perhaps even more strategic than Pike's, reflecting her years of experience and her own approach to navigating the challenges of deep space. Yet, viewers haven't seen enough of these moments. There's room within the series for number one to take the spotlight more frequently, whether it's commanding away missions, handling diplomatic negotiations, or making tough decisions when Pike isn't available. Given that Strange New Worlds is committed to an ensemble approach, allowing more stories to center on number one would not only deepen the character, but enrich the dynamic of the show's leadership structure. Romijn's acting career has been marked by versatility, from her breakthrough role as Mystique in the X-Men film series to her work in dramatic television. She brings that same range to Strange New Worlds, effortlessly balancing the cool professionalism expected of Starfleet's first officer with moments of vulnerability and wit. One particularly memorable scene in Season 1 involved her singing Ode to Spot, an ode to Data's cat.